Hello, welcome back to Neurodiversity News. The last time you saw me, I did a video dedicated to high support needs autistic people. For those who are new here, I run a website and a YouTube channel talking about different issues that affect the autistic community. This time, we're going to be talking about Heartbreak High, which is a remake of an Australian teen comedy show of the same name. So Heartbreak High is about two high school girls who create a secret diagram called the incest map, mapping out a select group of students who all hooked up with each other and the connections between them all. I'd say it's an illogical name given that the map doesn't show any kind of familial intercourse. Anyway, the map gets discovered, and all the kids on it are forced to take a mandatory sexual education class. And you're probably wondering, what does any of that have to do with neurodiversity news? The answer is, it's the best representation of autism to date, thanks to the character Quinny, who is played by the renowned autistic YouTuber and activist Chloe Hayden. Without giving away spoilers, her performance made me cry because I could really relate to her experiences. She's also said in interviews how many of her character's traits are lifted directly from her experiences in real life, making it all the more relatable. There's a notable clip from the show where she confronts a girl she likes and explains to her that she's autistic, with her date not believing her at first. For those of us autistics who can speak, I think almost all of us have been in that situation where people question who we are just because we can speak, make eye contact, have empathy, or whatever. Masking is very real because of the pressure we're put under by society every day, and this clip captures it perfectly. I felt that scene was very powerful because of how Hayden asserts and advocates for herself, which I don't think I've seen in any other show, as it's quite rare to see an autistic actor playing an autistic character and advocating for herself in the way that she does. Her date comes off as quite ignorant, so I personally wouldn't have kept going with her, but if you watch the show, you'll see how it all plays out. I must admit that song combined with her kiss gave me goosebumps because of how tender it was. She gave wonderful autistic and queer representation all in one fell swoop. Oh, and that Sia line definitely gave me a chuckle. For those who don't know, Sia made a film in 2021 called Music, which got a lot of backlash because she casted a neurotypical actress in the role, which Sia admitted she did out of nepotism. Many autistic people felt the portrayal mocked them, and when one autistic actor tweeted that she would have wanted the role, Sia replied, "Maybe you're just a bad actor." There was a lot more to it, but I don't want to go too off track. I also did a review of the movie Music if you want to check it out. Another thing I wanted to mention was a scene where Quinny is overloaded and her friend Darren spends time with her in the bathroom to soothe her and keep her calm. Instead of Darren telling her to get over it, or it's all in your head, or just straight up yelling at her like many of us have experienced, they show Quinny some compassion and patience, letting her have all the time she needs to come back down to baseline. It's a perfect example of how to properly help us when we're having a hard time, as sensory overload is a very easily misunderstood thing that we go through. Also, throughout the show, Quinny openly stims and is her authentic autistic self, which really brings a smile to my face because it's not often that you see an autistic person just being themselves and nobody questioning it and it's just treated as something normal. That's something I think any of us would want, just letting us exist as we are. I mean, wouldn't you say? Besides her, I gotta give credit to the other actors as they did a great job as well. The show is very LGBTQ focused and isn't shy about portraying LGBTQ relationships, which is very refreshing to me. I'm glad more shows and films are going in that direction as heteronormative relationships have been the norm for way too long. There's even one scene where a male character has a daydream in the gym locker room where he imagines all the other guys in a very erotic manner. Being queer myself, I was right there with them. To top it all off, they play the Whisper song by the Yin Yang Twins, which was the first song done entirely through whispering, and is all about a guy whispering to a woman about his desires. I love the way the show subverted the song to be used in a queer context, as it actually works perfectly well for the scene. The show does have heteronormative romances too, but honestly, I wasn't as invested in them. It wasn't even because of my sexuality, it was just because they weren't written as well. Besides Quinny and Sasha's relationship, I was also encapsulated by Darren's relationship with a character I won't spoil. But I will say the tension kept me on the edge of my seat throughout the season. Since the show is so new, I want to keep it short and simple so you can watch the show for yourself. I feel like I'd be doing a disservice if I said too much, as it's something you'd really have to see for yourself. Heartbreak High is a show that really does representation right, both for the autistic and the LGBTQ community. I don't think I've seen a show that accomplishes both so beautifully without looking like Hollywood just trying to look hip for the kids. On the contrary, you could tell Chloe Hayden and the queer cast members had a lot of influence on the show and told a story that represents them, not a show that Hollywood thinks represents them. It's a very addicting show, as my partner and I finished it in 2 days while we were on vacation. If you enjoyed this review, please let me know what you thought of the show in the comments. Also, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more neurodiversity news. Thank you all and have a good night.